Okay, so I'm not even gonna film an intro for this video because this video is already way too long and this garage looks absolutely disgusting and we need to get it fixed ASAP. So that's what we're gonna be doing in today's video. We're gonna be doing an entire complete transformation on the garage so we have a nice place to work on our cars. So come along with me and my entire family because this is a big family project as we renovate our garage. Step number one is going to be clearing all the junk out of our garage because we low-key just use it as a storage facility and just cram our cars in where we can. So let's get rid of all the junk and clean it up and start to make it look actually nice. The majority of this video is going to be music and time-lapse, so kick back and enjoy and watch this very satisfying transformation of our ugly garage to a nice garage. Now that we're done taking all of the stuff off of this loft shelf, we can begin to take it down. This loft shelf was actually built by my dad by himself many years ago, which is actually very cool to say because the shelf is actually really nice quality and it's pretty sturdy. So let's take it down for the time being, and then once we're done with the garage, we can put it back up after. Now that we cleaned out our garage, we can get ready to start making the improvements. The first improvement that we really wanted to make was hanging up drywall in our garage to make it seem finished, but in order to do that, we needed some extra support. So for that, I got a bunch of 2x4s and a miter saw, and we're gonna cut these 2x4s down to size so that we can fit them in the frames so that we can provide extra support to our drywall pieces. Now that the 2x4s are all cut down to size, we began to place them into the frame. We held it on with the clamp at the top, and then we began to drill in the new piece into the existing frame. That way, when we go to hang the new drywall pieces, we'll have more surface area to hang them off of. And as you can see, this really was a family effort. We have myself, my younger brother, as well as my mom and dad, all helping to get the garage finished. This was a super fun family bonding experience, and 10 out of 10 recommend it. And just like that, we are ready to hang our drywall. Each one of these pieces is absolutely massive at 4 feet by 12 feet long, and they weigh a ton. Each piece weighs 80 pounds, so it really took all 3 of us big strong men to use all of our might to place it onto the wall while the others drill it into place. As you can see here, we're drilling in the piece of drywall with drywall screws, and that was also a massive pain. The drywall screws have to be drilled into every single stud, and they have to be drilled in every 6 to 12 inches, so that made for using a lot of screws. I think for the entire garage, we ended up using over 1,000 screws. Next up is this middle piece of drywall, which presented its own set of challenges. For this piece of wall, there's actually light switches and electrical outlets that have to go here. So we have to precisely measure the exact place of each box and then cut it out, and hopefully it will line up. Okay, first up, my brother's gonna make an attempt at cutting out a light switch.
Oh, I went a little bit fast.
Yeah, no, just take a look at where it stops and then just remember it. Where's that laser we need?
Bro, this guy just punched the drywall.
Why would it come out?
I don't know, Matt.
Okay,
That looks
now
too
it's my
small.
turn. Okay, well, this is just a test run to see if we can actually cut out a hole.
You don't have a little handsaw?
Not this small.
Can...
Oh.
No.
Oopsies.
No, you don't want that.
Don't worry, I got it on video.
On the other side. Yeah.
And lastly, my mom's gonna give it a try.
Okay, watch out.
Like this. I think this blade is getting dull too.
Okay, Mom, watch out.
Bro, you can't use a drill to cut out a hole, dog.
You can, watch. I don't have any glasses on.
No, that's not good.
What the hell are you doing?
A little bit on the edge. Just really
Alright, we're good.
yeah.
Bro, it's still there though. Like, you didn't do anything.
No, he's fine. I'm sure it's easier. Oh! Watch your fingers. Sawing motion, sawing motion. Yeah.
Nice, good job, buddy. After we cut out some super precise holes, we were able to mount this piece of drywall onto the wall. If you see a little space above this piece and the piece above it, don't worry about that. We will just mud it in after and it'll be perfect, so don't even worry. This is us cutting out a piece of drywall. It's the long skinny piece that goes along the bottom edge of our garage wall. And this is what it looks like when we actually go to cut pieces of drywall down to size to fit on our walls. First, we pencil in a line of where it needs to be cut, and then we score the front side of the drywall with a knife, and then we just sort of snap it like a board. Sort of scary snapping such a big piece of board like that, but it is very satisfying. Now that we got all the drywall pieces hung, we can move on to the mudding process. The mudding process involves just taking a drywall compound of sorts and just sort of smearing it all over the wall to cover up any imperfections or divots. So in our case here, we're going to cover the screw holes that we made from screwing in the drywall, as well as the seams in between the larger drywall pieces. Now that we've covered all the screws with mud, we can begin with the taping process. The taping process is basically just covering the seams with mud, then putting a piece of drywall tape over that, and then mudding over the drywall tape. This way, the drywall pieces will have a little bit more structural rigidity and help them prevent from pulling apart from each other. In hindsight here, we probably went a little bit too thick on the mudding compound before we put the tape over top, so that made it a little bit hard to get the tape absolutely smooth, but hey, hindsight's 2020, and if I ever decide to do another garage, I'll know for next time. Once we've added all the mud and compound and tape and everything's filled in, we begin with the sanding. The sanding is basically just to make sure everything is completely smooth and there's no streaks or creases in the mudding compound when we have to go apply it. And through the sanding process, we can make sure that everything is completely smooth. The one hard part about this step is that sanding down the drywall compound creates a ton of dust, and the dust is pretty hazardous. So it's not good to breathe it in or get it into your eyes or on your skin. That's why I'm wearing a safety mask and safety glasses here. However, I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt because it was freaking hot this day, and I probably would have died if I was wearing long pants and long sleeves. But I don't have much footage of this step because it also got all over my camera. So to prevent my camera from getting super dusty, I didn't really film much of it. But trust me when I say this step took forever. My arm was super sore once we were done, and everything in this garage got super dusty. Once we finished up with all the sanding, the walls were looking really smooth. We cleaned up with all the dust that was in the garage, and then we got onto painting. Unfortunately, I was away for most of the painting process, so my family got it done and I was unable to film. But through the power of movie magic, bam! Whole garage completely painted. We chose this nice shade of blue, which looks super nice, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. After that, we began with hanging our shelves. These are just super simple shelves with a little metal L bracket that screws onto the wall and under the bottom side of a piece of plywood, I guess. So, super simple shelves, put them up. I swear they're actually straight at level. It's just that the angle of the camera and the distortion of the camera makes them look like they're sort of tilted. But trust, they're perfectly level and they work super well. And then we put up our big loft shelf that goes in our back corner. This part took a little bit of effort and thinking because it was a little bit hard to sort of reverse engineer what my dad had done previously. But after lots of fiddling, we finally got it to work and sit right. We also made some minor adjustments here and there just to make the shelf more sturdy so it can hold more weight. And last but not least, we decided to put the finishing touch of a fresh coat of white paint on our loft shelf, and bam, we are done. The garage looks absolutely amazing after a transformation, and I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. Please forgive us for the amount of stuff that we have in our garage, but wow, it looks absolutely amazing. We even put up some new lighting because our garage is looking a little bit dim. I had such a blast doing this with my family, and it turned out spectacular. We finally completed our garage, and that means we finally have a place to start working on our cars and just a nice place to even store the cars, because before it was absolutely horrendous and it was even embarrassing just to walk in that place. But now we have an awesome garage, and I can't wait to make more videos like this one, except modifying the car instead of modifying the garage. So I'm super excited the way it turns out. Of course, myself and my family are not made of construction workers, so we probably did stuff incorrectly or not as great as it could be, but we're super excited and we can't wait to make nice videos in the garage. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.